Hey everybody, welcome to RPM, Rock and Pop Mandolin, your site for learning classic rock and pop songs on this wonderful little 8-string instrument. My name is Mike DeJong, and only a short intro today because we have a great interview coming up, another great interview coming up on this channel on another classic rock song that you can play on the mandolin. Today's interview is with a good friend of mine from right here in Japan, another Canadian mando player by the name of Rob Moreau. And you know, Rob is one of the people who inspired me to play mandolin a number of years ago. He was playing in a band with me. I was on guitar, he was on mando, and the mandolin sounded so great in his hands that I went out and got my own and started learning to play. Rob's been a real inspiration for me along the way. He's a fantastic guy and a fantastic mandolin player. He's taught me a lot in the last few years. So today, Rob is going to join us for a special interview, and we're going to look at another Canadian classic song. Yeah, this one is Canadian. It's by The Band, and the song is called The Wait, written by Toronto's own Robbie Robertson. That's right, it's a great song to play and really fun to play on the mandolin. Rob will show us all of the chords and licks in this tune. But first, before we get to The Wait, a little bit of business. If you're new to the channel, thanks very much for checking us out. But don't forget to hit that little red subscriber button on the way out, and possibly leave us a like if you like this video. You can also like this video if you are a returning subscriber, and thank you very much for coming back once again to RPM. We really appreciate your support. Please check out the Patreon and Amazon links down below as well. But now, without further waiting, let's take a look at The Wait by The Band, and featuring an exclusive interview with my good friend Canadian here in Tokyo, Rob Moreau on RPM. All right, Rob, thanks for joining us here on RPM. It's really a thrill to have you on here and to learn a little bit of Canadiana, a song by Robbie Robertson and The Band. So let's get into that, The Wait.
Great. So, as per logic, we'll start off with the introduction, which is quite a nice little iconic introduction. As we know, the song is in A, and it starts from the second of that, which is the B. I'm going to play it once to speed, and then we'll break it down. So what I did there is, again, starting on the fourth fret, which is a B note, and I'm using my second finger there. And then I'm going up to the sixth fret.
Okay. And
then going up to the E note, which is on the second fret there.
I got to do that with my little finger. Okay.
And then after you go like that, then you're going to the fourth fret, and that's on that D string again, and then up to the A string open.
Okay.
So you've got this.
Okay.
And then
are you hammering on that?
You can.
Okay.
You can hammer on it, but I think that it's good to pick the note when you're taking off.
Okay.
So on this, keeping my finger on the second fret on the D string there, that's hammering onto the fourth fret, like that.
Okay.
And then I'm going back down to that fourth fret and sixth fret. And then back to the second fret.
Okay.
So putting that together slowly, it's coming up like this. Okay. And then there's a kind of drum, there's kind of a drum part that brings you into the verse. And this is an approximation just for the mandolin, but I'm looking at something like this.
Okay.
So that's going from the second to the fourth
Yeah.
D open,
Yeah.
G, A chord.
Okay, so one more time.
Yep. From the second to the fourth
Yep.
on that G string.
Yep.
Then D string open,
Yep.
G string open,
Okay. And the whole A chord there.
and then the A chord. Yeah. And that's the kind of boom, 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 cha on the drum in the song.
Cool. The Levon Helm part.
And it does that A chord for a couple of bars like that, and then the singing part starts.
Okay, that's great. So that's a cool little intro, that the Robbie Robertson guitar part, basically, and adding a little bit of extra to sort of cover where the drums are.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the basic verses, I guess, are just a few chords, right? Just three chords throughout the song?
There are three chords, and those chords are A, C sharp minor, and D. But in the chorus part, it's A, E, and D.
Okay.
So to do the first part, after that, starts now.
So that's
the whole.
You're playing a lot of what I call those bar chord.
That's right, and I'll show you what I've got there. The A is that standard bar with the first two frets on these strings,
right?
And then the C sharp on the A string and the A on the E string.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the minor chord, you're barring up the top two strings, the G and the D string on the 6th fret.
6th fret, okay.
Yeah. And then with the second finger, I put it on the 7th fret on the A string. Okay. It's your E chord, or so E note. And then with my pinky, I'm playing the 9th fret on the E string.
Okay. Nice chord. E sharp minor.
Yeah. So it's really nice for the pattern, because these have the same kind of inversion, I believe, except for the D. But
right.
And if you're kind of beginning in mandolin, then it may be hard to push down all of those strings, right? Of course. But it's worth it, because they're movable. So if somebody changes key on you, or you want to try things in different keys, if you know these patterns, then it's not really a problem.
So yeah, I mean that's the beauty of those closed chords, isn't it? That you can, if somebody, if a vocalist maybe wanted to sing it in a different key, slightly higher, or even one fret lower, perhaps, you can do that, right? Just
as a way of saying that, if I play this in a band and we do it in G.
In G?
Wow. And it can be a little bit easier to sing. It depends on the person who's doing it. But it's the same sort of thing. If your band member says, "Oh my God, we're not doing it in the key you learned," don't panic. You can move those chords around. So I want to talk a little bit about the strumming, because you noticed when I was strumming, I was doing a kind of little strummy thing every now and again, and I'll just explain that. Let me go through the pattern once. It's like. So you hear that. If you listen to the original recording, you're going to hear that on the guitar when the vocalist is like between words, as it were. And what I do there is I'm kind of downstroking, emphasizing the downstroke over where the words would be. Cha-chun, cha-chun, cha-chun.
Right,
And that
you're not playing
cha-chun, cha-chun, cha-chun is what happens in between the verses. It's like, I pulled in the Nazareth, I was feeling about half past dead. I just need some place where I can lay my head. So
yeah, so you're not just playing flat chords, 1, 2, 3. You're really,
not really.
Giving us some groove, aren't you?
That's right. And again, it depends on where you are, like in level and what you want to do with the song. You can change it up to where you want it. But to follow kind of what's going on in the album, it's like... And what I'm doing there is I'm doing an upstroke first.
Right.
Up, down, up, down, up, down.
Okay.
So
I'm kind of noticing you're emphasizing the 1 and the 3 there. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, right?
yeah. And well, again, because it's sort of that folky, ballady kind of thing. It's not the big, strong blues. It helps give it that kind of folky feel. And one of the things that I might do if I'm playing in a band with a guitar player, I might do something like... So I'll add like a kind of cross-picking, and I don't know, it adds another layer of kind of melody and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So again, it might depend on where your level is and whatnot, but that could be something that you might want to do if you're playing with other people.
So in that sense, you're just arpeggiating, right? You're just...
Exactly.
And it doesn't really matter what notes you emphasize there, right? As long as they're in the chord. All right, cool. So moving on to the choruses, almost the same chords, right? There's just one.
That's right. So the thing is, what I've done for this video is I've introduced the piano part.
Okay.
So when you're going from the verses into the chorus as a piano part, that kind of builds up.
Okay.
And I'll play the whole thing together, and then we'll break it down.
Nice. Okay.
And I've listened to a couple of different recordings that the band has done, and live recordings and the studio recording, and they play with that. They play with that kind of area a lot. So, I don't know if you have to be exactly right. You can kind of stick to your comfort zone. And the only thing that seems to be kind of set is that introduction to it that goes.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So what notes are those?
So breaking it down, yeah, that's it. Breaking it down, you start on the E, which is the second fret of the D string here. And then go up 2 frets to the 4th. And then open A string.
E chord, right? So.
Yep.
Yeah. And I find when you let that open A note ring out, it gives you a little bit of a chance to grab that A chord, right? So
Yeah,
Give you a
that's right.
a momentary chance just to get down with your fingers on that A chord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something that is pretty tricky. And I was going to mention this, that, you can leave these piano fills out and it's not really going to make a difference, for your fun and enjoyment in this song. You can do the, but you can add the piano parts in as well if you want to keep them in. Well, one of the things that I was going to mention is if you're playing with another person, if you're playing with a guitar person who's strumming, as the kind of, as the mandolin player here, you can play maybe just the piano notes where you're doing, the guitar does John, 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 John. That's cool. You can do that as well.
Right.
One of the things when it comes to learning the instrument, and this can be a really good song for this, is switching from single note lines or lead lines into the chords can be really nice. Do the. It's good practice to switch between those two, because that can be really hard, depending on the experience level.
So okay, so we're going A to E, D there, right? So
that's
all bar
right.
chords again. Okay, and what are those?
And what I do for the strumming there is I'm just strumming once down. But you put some upstroke on that you don't really need to, okay. But it's up to you. Again, you can strum more.
Okay. Or and what was that lick?
Yeah, that's so. The first getting into the pattern is that build up.
Okay.
And then you do the 3 chords, and then after that, the second one is.
That's cool. Okay.
Yep, and that is the second. That's your B, which is the 2nd fret on the A string,
okay.
Going up to C sharp, which is the 4th fret.
Okay.
And then take that off back to the 2nd fret, open, and then F sharp, which is the 4th on the D string, and then A, open A string.
Yeah.
Now the next one can be the tricky one.
Ooh. What's that?
So that's starting on the 4th fret of the A, the C sharp, going up to the open E string, back to that 4th fret, 2nd fret, open A,
okay.
And then the 4th fret on the D string, the F sharp. So 4th fret, and then open E string, 4th fret on the A, 2nd fret on the A, open A, 4th fret on the D string.
Nice. Yeah, and all of those are obviously notes within the A scale, right? So
that's right. That's right.
All those
And
notes, even the introduction thing, everything is from an A scale. So learn your
there's
scales.
nothing there's nothing that's outside of that A scale. And it's an easy song to add a kind of solo spot over because of that as well. And I can show some kind of easy boxes to do that in as well.
Mm-hmm.
But so what we've got now is we've got that. Now we have to get down to that D chord. And that one is going to be very similar to the second pattern, the one that starts on the second fret of the A string, the B.
Ooh, but your last note was different.
It's going down to the D, because we're going to be there anyway.
Okay. Right, and then the D chord?
And then the D chord.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yep. And you hold that D chord forever, because that D chord has got the entire and you put the load right on me.
Right.
It's that whole thing. So to put the whole chorus together, take a load off and take a load off the free. Take a load off Annie. And you put the load right on me.
There you go, guys. There's the introduction and the verses.
We're not quite done yet. We've got one more thing after, as part of the verse.
Right.
Sorry, part of the chorus.
Yeah.
It walks down, doesn't it? It does a.
Right.
So this is a double stop, which is an A double stop using a C sharp, 4th fret on the A string, and 7th fret on the D string, which is an A and C sharp.
Okay.
And then we go down to a, it's the 6th, it's a G sharp, the 6th fret on the D string, and a B, which is the 2nd fret on the A string.
Nice, okay.
So,
yeah.
And then we go to the F sharp, which is the 4th fret on the D string, and open A.
Okay.
And then the 2nd fret on the G string, which is an E note, and an open A.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
These are really great to know, because if somebody's playing an A, this is a typical A double stop, that C sharp and the A. And the other one following it with the B and the G sharp, that's a kind of E double stop.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the F sharp in A and the E in the A.
Okay. Yeah. And the next little run you do kind of over the D chord. I noticed you leave your index finger kind of locked there when you do, so you can hit that chord. Yeah.
Yep.
Like that, right?
Yep. And then I added in that deal that we talked about before, which was the drum roll. so putting together that walk down and getting into the next verse, we do the. There's one thing we would be remiss in if we left it out, because all these people would be like, hey, I've watched the movie The Last Waltz and it doesn't sound like that. And that's right, because
you're stoned.
Unlike well, unlike the album version and live versions, like on the Rock of Ages album and others, they changed it. They changed the intro to this on the Last Waltz movie.
Okay.
And it sounds more like. He's doing something like.
Short one.
Yeah, he's starting with that C. He's starting with that C sharp minor.
Okay.
And then going to the D.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the 7th fret on the A string, so that's an E. Going up to the F sharp.
Okay.
To A.
Where's the A?
Okay. A is the 5th fret on the E.
Okay. Yeah.
And then going up to the C sharp.
Okay.
And then a D chord.
Okay. Playing that at the 7th fret.
That's right.
Okay, so.
And then it goes into that A chord, then all the patterns that we did before. So I'm doing a double stop there. I've got the E on the A string, the 7th fret, and the 9th fret.
Okay.
And then going to the D, and I'm just playing the top 3 strings. So that's 7, 7, 9.
Got it. Okay.
And then.
Okay.
And it's a lot more rockin'.
Okay.
It's a much heavier feel.
And that is our look at The Wait by the band. Thanks very much to Rob Moreau for joining us in this interview and showing us how to play that fun song on the mandolin. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, please hit the like button down below. And don't forget to hit that subscriber button if you're new to the channel as well. Also, you might want to check out our Patreon and Amazon links down below. Thanks very much once again for watching RPM.